Hi guys, my name is Jordan and today I am going to talk about bullying. I'm going to talk about it because one, it is a very popular thing that's being talked about right now because for some reason bullying is just getting worse and worse and worse, and that's not okay. And secondly, because it is something that I have gone through and that has affected my life a lot. So I'm going to tell you my story and I am going to try to explain to you and help you to overcome it. And I hope that it helps because if I can even just help one person overcome what people think about them and stop caring about it, then honestly I'll be happy because I wish that I had known how to overcome what was happening to me and how I felt about it when I was in ninth grade. So I'll start out with my story. When I was in middle school, I had absolutely no problems. I mean, yes, you have the everyday middle school drama. People argue and then you're friends again 2 days later. Yeah, okay, that was my drama for middle school and nothing other than that. I was perfectly liked. I had no enemies. I wasn't mean to anyone unless they were mean to me. And not many people were. And if they were, it was my friends who I was fighting with, and the next day we were BFFs again. So when I went into middle school, even though we had two separate middle schools and they would emerge into one, so I wasn't going to know a lot of people, I wasn't worried because I knew a lot of people already because I wasn't unpopular, as you'd put it, in middle school. And my first period class, there was this kid who would always look at me, like just stare at me, and I was like kind of like, why are you like looking at me? I would think to myself because I have social anxiety when I'm around especially when I'm around people that I don't know or who are looking at me. That's one of my big things. Like, I hate being stared at. So one day he messaged me on Facebook and he was like, hi, you're really cute. And he was a cute kid himself, so I said, thanks, you are too. And we ended up talking for a little while, and it turned out that we actually did start talking more than friends. Though it only lasted for 2 weeks. I went to his house once, and we watched movies or whatever, and his parents weren't home, which he, like, snuck me into his house, I guess. And then I met up with him one day, or I was trying to meet up with him one day at the mall. And his best friend came up to me and was like, hey, Dylan, which is the kid who I was talking to, just completely ditched you. He went over to Taco Bell across the street, so I'll hang out with you. And I was like, oh, wow, that's messed up. Thank you, though. And I hung out with this kid, and he was telling me that Dylan was only using me for sex, which I had not given him, and that he was, yeah, basically he was just using me because he apparently couldn't date a white girl. He was black, and his parents wouldn't allow him to date a white girl, which I was told by his best friend. So why wouldn't I believe it? But I did later find out that that was a lie. I cut it off with him instantly. I messaged him on Facebook and I was like, Dylan, I think we make better friends. I didn't tell him what his best friend had said because I promised not to, because I didn't want to ruin their friendship. At the time, I didn't know his friend was lying. So he didn't really even question me on it. He just said okay. Well, a couple days later, me and my friend who we had been friends since 5th grade, we made a smash or pass status. I don't know if you know what that is. It's like pretty, the title basically says it all. You post on someone's wall on Facebook, smash or pass if they like your status, and you write smash if you'd smash them, like fuck them, or pass if you wouldn't. Anyways, so this kid Davon liked me and my friend's status, and we both put smash because he was hot. So he ended up messaging my friend, which I didn't really mind. I didn't even know who the kid was. And my friend didn't really have, she wasn't allowed to go on the computer at home, and like she had really strict parents, and like she wasn't allowed to have a boyfriend, none of that. So she asked me if I would talk to him as her on her Facebook account, and I agreed to it. I should have never, ever, ever agreed to that. Excuse me. Sorry. I ended up catching feelings for him. She had only talked to him once for 5 minutes, and I had been talking to him every day for about 3 weeks now. And when I realized that I was catching feelings for him, I stopped going on her Facebook because I didn't want to do that to my best friend, because even though they had never really talked, she was the type of girl who, oh, I really like him, blah, blah, blah. So I just kind of try to stay away. Well, you know, one day I get a message on Facebook from Davon, and he's like, do you know where Naya is? And I was like, her computer broke, so she can't get on Facebook, blah, blah, blah. And he was like, oh, okay, well, could you ask her if she wants to stay after school with me? And I was like, sure, no problem. And she said yes, and then she went home and basically ditched him. So the next time they stayed after together, I stayed after too, just to make sure that he didn't get ditched again, because I felt bad. And he got ditched again, because that's just how my friend was. And I went up to him and was like, hey, and he's like, hey, Naya went home. And I was like, yeah, I kind of figured, you know, I wasn't trying to talk shit about my best friend, but at the same time, what she was doing was very messed up to him. We ended up just hanging out, and we just hung out for a while, and eventually he found out that it had been me on her Facebook the whole time. So he found out that he had only talked to her for 5 minutes once, and that the girl that he thought he liked was actually me. And when he found that out, he kissed me. Well, my school, I don't know about any of the other schools, which I'm sure they're all the same, loved drama. Someone saw us making out and instantly told my friend Naya, which I would have told her myself, but it got out before I could have. She spread every rumor. Oh, hold on. Before I say that, Dylan and Davon also had been friends, which I was not aware of. So anyways, Naya spread all sorts of rumors about me. I was a homie hopper for dating Davon after I had talked to Dylan, because they were friends, and I was a whore, and I was a scuzzabucket, and I was white trash, and I was disgusting, and I had AIDS, and I had fucked Vinny Topino on top of a car and on a water slide, and just all sorts of random lies about me that none of them were true. And I was just thinking, where are these people getting this from? But I had instantly turned into the most hated girl in my school district, and I didn't understand why. I didn't know what I did wrong. Yeah, okay, I may have messed up a little bit, but doesn't everybody? There were girls in my school who were fucking 7 different guys at one time, but they weren't judged because they were popular. That's just ridiculous. Popularity means nothing after high school. Nothing. So why make it mean something while you're in high school? It would make things much, much easier on everyone. Anyways, aside from that, me and Davon ended up dating. He was my only friend besides this girl Jamie, because everyone else hated me. I would go and sit at the lunch table, and my friend Naya, who I had been friends with since 5th grade, would just go whore, 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 the entire lunch period. And if anyone at that table dared speak to me, she would make their life a living hell just like she made mine. And the only person who did not care was Jamie. She was the only one. She was my best friend. Her and Davon were my best friends. Also, I had a friend named Bree who decided to steal Davon away from me. And I was getting lied to and cheated on by both of my best friends. Because I did consider Davon my best friend. I would walk through the hallway. The bullying just kept getting worse. I would walk through the hallway and I'd be shoved into lockers by people that I didn't even know. And apparently I looked like a bulldog, and my confidence was already below zero. I never had confidence, even when I was in elementary school. I've always thought I was fat. I always thought I was ugly. I never thought I was good enough. And to hear it coming from people really, really, really lowered my self-esteem more than it already was. Like, it was just terrible. And I mean, it doesn't sound as bad when I'm saying it as it really truly was. It was bad. People were vicious at that school. It got to the point where I was admitted into Four Winds, Saratoga. Look it up online if you don't know what it is. It's a mental hospital. I had tried to kill myself, and I was cutting myself on both my arms, shoulders, and my thighs. I still have the scars to this day, and it was 4 years ago. I went back to school after I got out of Four Winds, which would have been my sophomore year, so I would have been in 10th grade, but I could only complete 3 days of that because after a full summer, no one forgot. No one. I was still the school whore, and it was overwhelming for me. I had terrible anxiety, and I had become extremely depressed from my freshman year. And when I got out of Four Winds, it didn't help me at all. And if you're in the New York area, don't ever, if you feel you need to go away, do not ever go to Four Winds, because they did nothing but put me down more. They told me that I would never get a steady job because I was there, which I proved them wrong. And they told me that I would never make anything of myself because I was there. I was only allowed to see my therapist once the whole time I was there, and I wasn't allowed to go to group therapy because my roommate stole a knife, not me. Don't ever, ever, ever go to Four Winds if you feel you need help. Go somewhere else. Conifer Park, if you're in the New York area. Albany Med has a good treatment place. Don't go to Four Winds. Anyways, I ended up dropping out of school because it was so bad. And I would be a senior this year. I would be graduating this year. I wish I had the strength that I have now that I had back then, because I would have stayed in school. But I am going to get my GED. And what I'm going to tell you now is that, as cliche as this sounds, when somebody is bullying you, something is either going on at home that's bad, or something is seriously wrong in their life. Because nobody, and I mean nobody, is going to go up to you and make you feel like a piece of shit and make you go home and cut yourself or starve yourself or whatever your coping mechanism may be if they were living a happy life. It just wouldn't happen. No happy person is going to go up to you or message you online and tell you to kill yourself. They have better things to do when they're happy. An unhappy person, on the other hand, yeah, they don't really got much else to do. So look at it that way. That person is more unhappy than you, and just tell them, you know what? I don't know what's going on in your life, but get it fixed. You need to find help. I'm sorry you have a terrible life, but please don't take it out on me. I don't deserve this. I didn't do anything wrong. I didn't do anything to you. The rumors that get spread about you may or may not be true, but if they are, who cares? It's high school, it's middle school. You make mistakes. Everyone does. And if they're not true, then just let it fly right over your shoulder, because who the fuck cares if it's not true? You got. It took me a long time. Okay? It took me a really, really, really long time to come to peace with who I am. My body is covered in scars, and I hate it. I can't even wear shorts or a t-shirt or a tank top, for the matter of fact, without getting the most rude or like obnoxious stares from people. And there's even times where I've gotten, "Oh, you're just looking for attention," from some random stranger while I was walking down the street just trying to go to the park to hang out with my friends. It's just the ignorance of people, and you just gotta know that. I mean, it's just ignorant. I hate people who bully. I don't know how many times I can say that. I hate them. My bullying situation caused me to start smoking. I have asthma. Sorry. I have asthma, and I smoke a pack or two a day. Because yes, it still does stress me out when I think about it. And I have other things going on in my life right now that have happened more recently that are way worse than when I was bullied. But believe me, I've turned to drugs. I've turned to just about any type of drug that will make me forget. I have eating disorder because of it, because I was called fat plenty of times. And you know what? I even became antisocial. I locked myself in my room for 6 months. The only time I came out was to eat, if I was going to eat, which was rare. Go to the bathroom or take a shower. My friend Jamie, who wanted to come over, I wouldn't let her. I didn't want to be around anybody, and it was all because of the assholes in my school district who had nothing better to do than bully me. And you know what? I proved them all wrong, because yes, I dropped out of school. But guess what? I'm getting my GED, and I will graduate before you. And when you guys get out of high school, I bet all you low-life bastards will wait a year or two before you decide to go to college. But guess what? After I get my GED, even if I get it next week, I'm only 17. My ass is applying for colleges because I want to do business in cosmetology and open up my own place. I held down a job for 10 months at Journeys in the mall. It's a shoe store. And I never called in once. I learned that, I don't know how to put this. I know how to put it in my head, so I'm going to try really hard to make it into words. I learned that I am who I am, and I cannot change that. And if people don't like it, then they don't need to be in my life. If people can't accept the fact that I do what I do, then they can walk right out the door. If people can't accept the fact that I have scars covering my entire body, then I don't want them as a friend or a boyfriend. If people can't accept that I am going to have my bad days, I don't want them in my life at all. Because relapse is a real thing, and you know what? I may end up cutting myself again, though I don't want to. I may end up doing drugs again, though I don't want to. And I'm trying my hardest not to. But relapse is a real thing, and people need to understand that. Your situation, whoever's watching this video, may be completely different from what mine was, but I hope that this video helped you to realize that you are who you are, and no matter what the bullies say, They're not even bullies. They're just pieces of trash. They're no better than you. And in all honesty, if you don't bully back, you're better than them. And you will succeed in life. And you will have a great life. And after high school, all that shit goes away. You ain't gonna see those people anymore. And if you can realize that and learn to love yourself for who you are, because that's the only person you will ever be, you, I promise, will do amazing things and you will be happy finally. I hope also that if any people who bully people watch this, think about it next time and don't do it, because it really does affect thousands of people. And it's not right. No high schooler, no teenager, no kid should have to be scared to go to school, have to drop out because of your words, whether they were face to face or over the internet. No one should be scared to go to school. School is where you go to learn, to make something of yourself. And children and teenagers nowadays are terrified of it. It's sickening. Please don't bully. Please.